some really clever people on this planet, but no one quite clever enough to fathom the following. Yet.
Bearing 94, Mark 7, angle of elevation 6 degrees, holding steady.
Over that rise. Take 2 men, circle around to the left.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 things we wish science would figure out. For this list, we've looked at those theories, suggestions, and identifiable problems for which science does not currently have an answer. Today's countdown is a mixture of things that humankind is partway towards understanding, as well as those things that are still very, very far from being a reality.
Sit down.
Number 10. Hypersleep.
Reanimation complete.
Otherwise known as suspended animation, the idea of hypersleep has been made most famous by Alien, Futurama, and other sci-fi productions.
God, it's the future. My parents, my coworkers, my girlfriend. I'll never see any of them again. Yahoo!
40 winks times a million, hypersleep is the drastic reduction of one's metabolic rate, usually brought about through the denial of oxygen, enabling a human to effectively press the pause button on their own aging.
We're trying to stop the clock to buy time for the surgeons. And the way that we're doing that is by using very low levels of hypothermia.
Science fiction shows us the subsequent possibilities of intergalactic travel, but there are more immediately practical applications as well, namely, eradicating dangerous delays in health and hospital care.
Shouting is a temporary side effect of the unfreezing process.
Yes, I'm having difficulty controlling the volume of my voice!
Number 9. Reanimating corpses.
It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive.
While delaying death would be great, bringing people back from the dead would probably be even better. We've all read miracle stories where someone clinically dies, but is brought back to life minutes afterwards. But what if that period between life and death was extended further still, and reanimation was a very real possibility at the end of it? Doctors could work wonders with the second chance slice of time. And quite apart from anything else, zombies could actually exist. Hopefully they'd be friendlier than in the movies. Number 8. Impossible similarities within the ancient world.
So they look at this Baghdad batter, and there's about a dozen of them that have been found in Iraq, and the only mainstream theory is that they were using it for electroplating jewelry.
Logic says that the modern world is more technologically advanced than the ancient world, right? But then why all the weird similarities scattered across the latter, when there apparently existed limited means of international communication?
Incredibly, this pyramid's perimeter is virtually the same as that of the Great Pyramid of Giza.
One of the most high-profile cases of this type was unearthed in 1992, as a team of German scientists ran tests on ancient Egyptian mummies, finding tobacco, hashish, and cocaine in their bones, skin, and hair, which are products normally found in the Americas in a pre-Columbus era. So how did they get so far from home?
That transoceanic voyages are possible, or were possible, seems to me overwhelmingly likely.
Number 7. Dinosaur extinction.
For more than 100 million years, creatures like these ruled the planet. And then, they were gone.
In general, the majority of scientists explain the Cretaceous-Paleogene extinction with one of two theories. Either it was the effect of an asteroid impact on Earth, or of mass volcanic activity and eruption. Both hypotheses stem from the presence of the metal iridium within a layer of rock dating back to the extinction event, with iridium also prominent in both meteorites and the Earth's core. On the other hand, some argue that steady climate change killed the dinosaurs. We know they were here, we're just not entirely sure why they went.
And there's a profound point there for our species. Only after the extinction of the giant reptiles did mammals flourish, including our primate ancestors. Without the asteroid, there'd be no us.
Number 6. Cold fusion.
Cold fusion was once the hottest new scientific discovery. 5 years ago on this broadcast, we were talking about it extensively. But almost overnight, this revolutionary new energy source was being called a big hoax.
Frequently branded a pathological science, the idea of cold fusion is simply wishful thinking for many. However, hypothetically, the ability to stage nuclear reactions at close to room temperatures would be world-changing.
The heat energy that came out of that little jar was thousands to millions of times what could be explained by any known chemical reaction.
An affordable, more practical, possibly cleaner method of generating renewable energy. It would change the face of the fuel industry. When Martin Fleischmann and Stanley Pons first reported successful tests in 1989, the hype was unprecedented. Since then, however, funding has been cut and faith in the concept lost.
This completely changes the whole concept of power generation, distribution, consumption.
Number 5. Traveling at the speed of light.
To boldly go where no one has gone before.
Otherwise known as warp speed, and the fundamental requirement for interstellar travel. For the stargazers and space hoppers among us, this is the discovery we really want made.
Ludicrous speed! Go!
The only problem is the apparent impossibility that it ever will be. With light traveling at around 670,616,629 miles per hour, and the fastest speed at which a human has ever gone being the Apollo 10 mission at 24,790 miles per hour, we've so far bitten only an approximate 0.0037% out of the desired speed. Einstein himself said it could never be done.
Hey! Hey! Whoa!
Yeah!
Number 4. Dark matter.
The ether is fluid and ever-changing. It changes matter into dark matter. It seeks out host bodies, drawing strength from their life force.
A term coined to define missing mass, dark matter is essentially the proof that an empty space isn't the same thing as nothing.
Basically, we only know 3 things for sure. 1. Something is out there. 2. It interacts with gravity. 3. There is a lot of it.
An empty space is, in fact, something. Science refers to that something as dark matter, but we can't see, feel, or in any way really appreciate that it's there.
There's simply not enough visible stuff in galaxies to provide enough gravity to hold them together. From what we can see, they ought to fly apart, but they don't. So there must be stuff there that we can't see.
Which is frustrating given that dark matter and dark energy hypothetically constitute around 95% of the universe, while so-called normal matter accounts for less than 5%.
So really we should be calling it the dark force, because we don't know if it's made of matter. It could be a profound misnomer.
And if that doesn't change the way you look at the world, nothing will.
Our theories about dark matter and dark energy are still just that, theories. On the one hand, this is kind of frustrating. On the other hand, this is frontier science, making it very exciting.
Number 3, black holes and what's beyond them.
It's all black. Charles, do you read me? It's all blackness.
A constant threat in many a space-based movie, black holes are the archetypal fear of the unknown. Areas in space with a gravitational pull so strong that even light itself can't escape them, a black hole eats up every bit of matter that falls within its event horizon, atom by atom. And yet its actual mass is confined to an infinitely small singularity at its center, a concept to boggle even the brightest minds. The inside of a black hole seems literally impossible to figure out. Number 2, what triggered the Big Bang?
Our whole universe was in a hot, dense state that nearly 14 billion years ago expansion started. Wait.
In the age-old science versus religion debate, it can prove difficult not to explain away the beginnings of our universe with the safety of scientific reasoning.
It was just a very tiny, ultra-hot fog of energy. Then it expanded. With a tremendous flash.
In a nutshell, energy created more energy, which created stuff, which created life, which created us.
The universe went from the Dark Ages to an age of splendor, when the first stars illuminated the gas and the universe began to glow in majestic fashion.
But where did that first bit of energy come from? We can account for all but the very first milliseconds of our universe, but it's those first moments that really make a difference. How do you create something out of literally nothing?
It's impossible to describe the moment of creation in human language. All we know is that from what may have been nothing, we go to a state of almost infinite density and infinite temperature and infinite violence.
Before we unveil our number one pick, here are some honorable mentions.
It means this $80 pill is 100% sucrose.
What?
Sugar?
I know what sucrose is, idiot, but there's medicine in there too, right?
No. Not a trace.
This supervoid is located 3 billion light-years from Earth and was found in analyzing data from the Pan-STARRS 1.
Number 1. Time travel.
Do I really gotta be the asshole that says we got in this thing and went back in time?
It must be some kind of hot tub time machine.
The ultimate dream for scientists and humankind in general. There surely isn't any technological advancement that could ever be made to rival the invention of time travel.
I won't go, Grandfather. I won't leave the 20th century. I'd rather leave the TARDIS than you.
Now you're being sentimental and childish.
A theoretically feasible but practically impossible concept, probably. Time travel would likely require some kind of super combination of the other entries on today's countdown.
At first, I pushed the lever forward ever so slightly, and the laboratory grew faint around me.
Light speeds might bring about backward or forward travel, while the gravitational power of a black hole could also inspire it. Realistically, however, time travel's the stuff of sci-fi. But we'll cross our fingers and hope for a time tourist anyway.
Turn off! It's a piece of crap, it doesn't work.
Do you agree with our list? Which scientific mystery did we miss? For more perplexing top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Punch it!